is the Simpit. I'm your host, Shaun Cole, and welcome to today's edition of the Pit Stop, where you, the pit crew, you are the real star of the show because you are here to talk about sim racing and hang out with me and just be part of this great hobby, sport, common interest that is sim racing that we all like to participate in so much. Thank you for being here. Guess what day it is? It's Hump Day. Hotlap Humpday, that is. This is the third Wednesday of the month, and we'll talk more about Hotlap Humpday later on throughout the show. So, how you all doing out there? Are you guys racing? Are you having fun? Are you just grinding out another rough week at work? I am, but I love my job. I have the best job on earth. That is just being the sim guy, getting here to talk about the news, getting to test all the greatest products, and finishing up my GS5 G-Seat review as we speak. So that should be coming out fairly soon. We should be filming that in the next 24, 48 hours along those lines. Hello, everybody. I see my name throughout the chat. Hello, everybody. I'm here, Spatial. I'm right here. Just had a little hiccup right before I was going to go green, so to speak. But it is Hump Day. What's going on in the world of sim racing? There's a bit to talk about. Beginning of the week, we talked about that Wicked Cushion Motorsports, the new esport team dedicated to dirt racing, dirt oval racing in particular. So when we look to iRacing, funny enough, just yesterday, the greatest show on virtual dirt returns Monday. And I got to tell you, I think I mentioned it when we were talking about Wicked Cushion. I am really looking forward to watching dirt racing done at the highest level. And my immediate thoughts are, God, you know, it's such a tough discipline. And sim racing changes things. It's not one-to-one to real-life racing. The racing is different. We know this. It's parallel. It's common. It's similar. But it's not the same. Will these guys, how many races will it take them to sort things out? How is the whole procedure? I can't wait to watch the greatest show on virtual dirt that returns on Monday. So just coming up very shortly, March 25th at Volusia. Volusia is one of, let's see, how many little dirt ovals have I been to? 3. Volusia is one of the 3 real-life dirt ovals that I've been to. Saw a great show there back when I was at Daytona. Volusia is not far from Daytona. It's within about a half-hour drive. So anyway, that is coming up. I'll be watching. Maybe you guys will tune in. Gosh, a couple of you guys are good enough to get out there and maybe compete. Maybe next season get up into that top level. 25 grand at stake for the season. So there is some money on the line for that series. And Mike, guess what day it is? My favorite commercial. I sometimes wear my Hump Day camel t-shirt even. I'm a big fan of Hump Day. Yeah, Spatial, I agree. Billy Strange, go get you some of that dirt money. Hello, Kimber, thank you for the thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Be sure to thumbs up the show. And be sure to tell friends so that we can continue to grow. Always trying to get bigger. The bigger we get, the more staff we can bring on, the more things we can create, and keep building this community the way it's going. So, very happy about the direction we're going right now. Anyway, R Factor 2 also, you know, big news out of this. This is really one of the first huge endurance races in recent times in the world of R Factor 2. So coming up on Saturday is that Phanatic Sebring 12-hour. We have a couple of the paint schemes here because we are talking some of the big teams like FA Racing. There's FA Racing. Boom. Team Redline with Phanatic sponsorship. Boom. Avid Chronic Racing is going to be, I mean, we're talking a who's who of the best sim racers doing an endurance race in R Factor 2. This could be the beginnings of some really great things. You know, we can talk all day about our favorite sims, and, you know, one thing I hope you understand, I embrace all sims, and they all have great qualities. When we do that piece of pizza, you know, pie, and which sim has the best part of what aspect of sim racing, I almost think of them as being different flavors of pizza, too. It's like, well, here's your pepperoni, and sometimes I like pepperoni. Sometimes I like supreme. Sometimes I like plain cheese. But anyway, R Factor 2, undisputably one of the greatest sims out there. It's going to be really nice to see this come along. 10K euro on the line. It's a big deal. This is a really big deal because this is just straight up racing, and it's gonna be great to watch. It's gonna be great. Samuel, you know, that's a great question. I have not. The Simpit has not reached out into the R Factor 2 enough. I've done a handful of races, mostly with the guys from Studio 397 and testing new content type thing. But we as the Simpit have not done enough R Factor 2. What I need to look into is getting a good hosting solution for the Simpit so that maybe the Simpit can have something going on all of our favorite sims. That would be most ideal right there. So be sure to tune in. That's this weekend. Mitchie Hoyer of Avid Chronic will be streaming the race at the Simpit. I think, you know, we have our patron race Saturday morning, and I think I'm actually going to put our patron race on the crew channel and have Mitchie, because this is such a big deal. I mean, again, you're talking about Mitchie Hoyer streaming a race from Avid Chronic perspective against Team Redline and FA Racing. So we're talking some of our good friends of the show here. Guys we rub elbows with, race with, share setups with, share cars with, Mitchie Hoyer and those guys from Avid, going up against the best of the best. So I think we're going to let him take over the main channel. That actually starts, I think, at like Friday night at 3 a.m. and ends at 3 p.m. Saturday morning, or Saturday afternoon, I should say. So stay tuned. Friday, I'll give you a definitive answer on what's going to stream where, but we do have our patron race. Sorry. Wow, I'm not even getting through the news. I'm a little all over the place today. Forgive me. Another thing here, I think I have this somewhere else also. Perhaps not, but no, I must have this because I think I have a picture of the winning team in that ESL map-free MAP-FRE Grand Finale. All right. It's hard for me to keep up with chat. I almost have to ignore Restream because most of our comments come from YouTube, even though we are on Twitch, sort of. All right, Dirt Rally. So 6 hours ago, they announced patch 1.2 for Dirt Rally 2 is going live at 11 a.m. UK time. Let's see. That already happened, didn't it? Excuse me. Be sure to exit the game while the update is pushed live. Maintenance to RaceNet finishes at noon. Patch arriving simultaneously to PC, PS4, and Xbox One. And they do have a full patch notes if you want to know everything that's part of 1.2. I thought I already clicked this on, but apparently not. Here we go. But this is the Dirt Rally 2.0 roadbook for March 20th, 2019. I'll go through some of the top ones here so you can read along if you want to pause your screen here. But stability improvements across all modes. What are we looking for? You know damn well. You guys know damn well what I'm looking for, what we're looking for. We know it's not in there. We already know it's not in there. But what we're looking for is force feedback, improvements, enhancements, corrections, fixes, whatever you want to call it. But stability improvements across all modes, prevented negative times from posting, OSD dial can now be enabled, new audio for the Citroën, updated trophy achievement will now unlock, darkness issues resolved, soft lock will no longer occur, proximity, prevented exploit, podium counter, prevented audio, Joker lap, custom online, improvements and corrections to text, subtitle, accent, and characters. I don't see anything about force feedback. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. Shame, shame. Know your name, Codemasters. Fix that force feedback already. Maybe we'll give you some more attention on the show when you do. Raceroom. Another big deal going on. This is their team endurance. So we talked about the Tuning World Bowden C. Oh, I don't know. I need my graphic for when I'm going to butcher a name. That was a great suggestion. I got to get that. I got to write myself a note. Butcher. Oh, my pen died. Butcher. Name. Disclaimer. It's coming. I love that idea. Okay, sorry about that. But they're going to do a 4-hour endurance race at that as well in Raceroom. So with this, you're going to actually see driver changes. It's going on Friday, May 3rd, 2,500 euro up for grabs, I was going to say, to the top team. But this could be very cool. Also, I wonder, Mitchie Hoyer, are you going to go do this one? But the ETC, Endurance Team Challenge. Team Spirit at the Tuning World Bodensee. Represent your team and win 2,500 in cash prizes. Qualify your team for the event. 2 weeks, 3 days, 20 hours, and 56 minutes to qualify your team. And I'm going to guess, since it's a live event and we do have some standings right now, looking at it's some kind of point system. And Tim Koch is in the lead. Johan Weeb, I can barely read that. It's pretty small text. And Vinny Oliveira. Oh, where's that disclaimer? I think I probably ruined a couple of those names. So that's going on May 3rd at the big Raceroom event going on there. Also, Gran Turismo, you know, so they just had that big Paris event, which is really cool. I'm going to wear out that button. Rant time. Who's going to rant? Who's ranting? What are we ranting about? I have no rants. I have a 3D printer topic here today. Citroen. Ah, is that right, David Grunell? Thank you. Citroen. You know, but isn't it more fun when I butcher names? Or is it disgraceful? A little of both, perhaps. So, FIA, Certified Turismo, that whole thing in Paris, they made the final announcement. So, I'm not going to go into deep detail on this, but things are getting back to, let's call it normal. Things are getting back to normal when it comes to the FIA certified Gran Turismo championships and their whole esports scene. So they have an overview giving you everything you want to know about the Nations Cup for this year, the GT Manufacturers Cup for this year, the eligibility, the participating regions, because again, remember, it's a regional type competition. Nations Cup is one of the things that goes on. World Tours, the big events that are going to go on. For example, World Tour USA, August 24th and 25th. Don't know where yet. Maybe I'll go to that if it's close by enough. As a spectator / news, not necessarily as a competitor. So that's cool stuff, and them getting back to it. So basically, at this point, are all sims firing? I'm trying to think. Yeah, who's the first? Who can tell me what sim doesn't have some kind of esport competition going on at this point? Izzy, hey Izzy, how you doing? Izzy is the right-hand man and part of the Gamer Muscle team, and we had a little fun with James the other day as I went and tried to light up his donation board, just in order to have some fun before he comes on the show on Friday. So that's good news, and I guess I didn't even have that on my list, so Izzy, thank you for reminding me. Friday on Beyond the Sim with Billy Strange, we are going to have none other than James West. Gamer Muscle is going to sit in with me, Brandon, and Billy, and we're just going to do what we do on Fridays and talk sim racing and just pick some topics and talk about them until we're blue in the face. Probably go a couple hours as usual. We got that coming up Friday morning. So, Phanatic, data breach. You know, we hear about data breaches from like all the big social security monitor sites. The banks are having data breaches. It's like, this is just the hysteria of the world we live in today. And, you know, I don't like to get political, but geez, come on, governments. It's time you really put a stop to this and make it something that you're really trying to put a stop to, and not only put a stop to, but prosecuting. I mean, I know it's hard, but we can't just let this go on and on. But anyway, apparently there was a data breach of some sort out of Phanatic, and a lot of people got emails that were telling them, be sure to go in and change your password. So, you know, I don't do this enough, and I really need to. We are at a point in time where you might need to start, I mean, they used to tell you not to write down your passwords, and it was really weird when passwords first came onto the scene, how they treated it. Now it's like you almost need to change your password monthly or weekly even if you want to be safe, and I mean that all the way across the board. But anyway, if you are a Phanatic client and you have an account there, you might want to go make sure that everything is honky-dory and change your password. And you can find that at the Phanatic community site via their webpage. What else? Let's see here. For the price of the top end wheels and pedals, I could get a race cart. DJ Racer, you are 100% correct about that, but I come from a personal place of experience when it comes to buying a cart. I bought a cart, just to give you a fair story on money. I bought a shifter cart that cost me $7,500. This is back in like 2002, 2003. Shifter cart cost me $7,500, and I am not lying, and I am not exaggerating. I blew through $50,000 running that cart for 18 months. That is not an exaggeration. That is an underestimate, if not anything else. If you spent $7,500 on sim gear, you would be covered for the next 10 years of racing every day, every night, in every discipline. It's just, there is a big difference. You can't compare real life to sim racing. You just can't. But at the same time, on a money, we got it beat, even at the highest end. But I appreciate the comment, and I agree with you. That is a lot of money. It is on par with what it would cost to get into racing. Filippo, Mossy. Yes, I will be reviewing the new DD. Oh, I can't remember if I have a DD1 or a DD2. I have the more expensive one on the way. John Hill is in the audience. John Hill, I believe, has a DD1 on the way. I think I have the DD2 on the way, and I'm hoping and crossing my fingers that John Hill is going to bring that over here so we can kind of play with them both together. That didn't sound right at all. I'm hoping John Hill will bring his wheelbase over so that we can compare the two. Guess what day it is? Mike. It's Hump Day. It's the third Wednesday of the month. Therefore, it is Hotlap Humpday with Ricmo Tech. I will be back on the air at 3 o'clock. That's about 6 hours from now. We will be broadcasting 4 hours of Hotlap Humpday. Nobody on the planet Earth, well, that's not true. I think Kevin and Frank know. I don't know. They're going to throw it at us right when we get there. They promised a mix-up this week. So, and they do some funny points. So they give away points for hot laps. They give away points for being in the top 10. They give Joker points, a random position. Today, the magic position. So if you watch the show, you have a little in on the info. 10th place is going to get the bonus points today. 10th place is going to score as much or more than first place. Lance Duhan, $8,000 a year for his 12-race karting schedule at NOLA. Another $2,500 for, what about 16? Yeah, we'll see. You know, when it comes to karting budget in particular, keep in mind, I ran a Vortec ICC in the time where you had to run them super duper lean in order to even be competitive, and that meant blown motors. So I went through 2 blown motors and 1 extra rebuild during that time. The other thing is we had to run ultra soft tires that literally only lasted about an hour, and they were going for $200 to $300 a set. So on a practice day, there's no point in showing up on hard tires or used tires because constantly, if you're working on setup and things, you need to have perfect tires all the time or your time out there is wasted. So the tire budget alone. The other is the fuel. That ran full race gas with oil, and you're trying to take care of this engine that's worth $3,500 on its own. So you're running like expensive oil even. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous money. It was mad money, and it was stupid. It was stupid, and I would never recommend somebody to, if you want to get into racing, in my opinion, if you want to get into real life racing on a road level, you buy a Miata. That's it. You know, because it's a real racing car. You're going to spend no more on a Miata than you would on a shifter cart. The difference is with the shifter cart, I guess you can throw it in the back of a truck versus a Miata. You need a trailer, and you probably need a couple guys to give you a hand with it at times. But it just makes a lot more sense to me. So, yeah, David, exactly. You can spend $1,000 in one weekend practice in top-level karting purely because of the cost of the tires and fuel. And yeah, it's insane. It's to be done by very, very wealthy people. I mean, you can, you know, and that's the thing. You know, sorry, we'll get back to the news here. You know, you get into karting for the most part to have fun. If you pursue through karting to become a real-life racer, you better have a really wealthy dad, because you're talking like real race team budgets. You're talking, you better have $250,000, and I'm not even joking around. Now, if you get a go-kart because you want to have fun, I totally get it. Go get a Rotax. Go get a regular 125 moto, no, not even a shifter, and run on hard tires, and you can run those tires for, 3 days, and you're just having a shit ton, ear-to-ear grin kind of fun. There's no point in getting into shifter karting at that highest level unless you have a lot more money. I thought I had enough money. I'm like, oh, $7,500 for the cart. What will it really cost? Boom. Yeah. $60,000 total later. So, yeah, rent a racer. I would recommend that before I go be a privateer in the four-wheeled world, especially shifter karting like that. It's like, go find a team and just rent it. Rent your ride. I had no sponsors either. That didn't help. All right, let's get back to the news. Hotlap Humpday. Guess what day it is? It's Hotlap Humpday. Get out there and play with us tonight in iRacing. Don't know the car. Don't know the track. We do know the sim. It'll be iRacing. If you're in the Florida area, especially Southern Florida, head over there. You can go hang out. They're going to have food, snacks. They're going to have simulators. They're going to have a gang of people. If you are online, you can watch my stream today at 3 and just watch the fun. And if you're part of the pit crew, you'll get the password and be able to come join us as well. Being part of the pit crew just means being on our stream. We'll get it to the actual patron pit crew, and then we'll make it public as well. I told you I had something for the 3D guys. Well, look, here's something on Thingiverse. Thingiverse is where, if you don't know Thingiverse and you have a 3D... Actually, there's no way on earth that you have a 3D printer and you don't know of Thingiverse. If you don't have a 3D printer and know what I'm talking about, Thingiverse is where people will upload their designs, things they've made with their 3D printer, because drawing a design to be... Printing is easy. Drawing a design to be printed is very difficult. Anyway, here is a mod, an adaptation somebody did for their G29 with a rear brace and buttons, and you can get the images and be able to print those on your 3D printer at home. So anyway, it has 13 likes, and I thought that was just kind of cool. I have a few friends who have 3D printers, so I thought that was kind of interesting and relevant. A lot of talk about VR going on. Me with my friends talking about VR. A lot of you guys are talking about VR in the chat, especially like today before the show even got started. But we're with GDC going on, Game Developer Conference. We're starting to see a lot of the next-gen stuff starting to appear. And I know a lot of people have been waiting on better resolution before they're going to jump into the VR. That was a quote that I myself made for a long time. But then I just couldn't hold out, and I bought an Oculus. And I'll tell you what, I got mine for $320 with controllers and 2 sensors. So I got a good deal on it. And I have not regretted that once. It was well worth the money. I've enjoyed every minute. In fact, I play VR and I think I just can't wait till it gets better. I mean, where's more stuff to do? Anyway, HP's got their new Reverb VR headset. This is a lightweight design, and I guess this is actually sporting what they're calling the highest resolution. I'm not a VR expert, but they're saying 2160 by 2160. Is that even better than the Pimax? I know a couple of our guys have Pimaxes. Is that actually higher than a Pimax's resolution? Not sure, but that is the latest, greatest. Only $599, so that's a decent price when you consider the cost of like the Vive at this current time. So $599 for 2160, 2160 sounds like next gen are coming. Oh no, we don't want that. In addition to that, Oculus takes one giant half step with the Rift S headset. So this is the latest, greatest from Oculus as well. And this is just at Wired Magazine talking about that headset. But if you want to read about it, you'll find it at Wired. So this is, again, next gen from Oculus. There's also a video. This is Adam Savage's Tested. And they have an Oculus Rift hands-on and impressions that you can check out and get all the details on the latest, greatest there. So next gen, they're kind of coming. Some of them are like, 1.2. Some of them are 2.0, if that makes any sense to the sim racing friends that I've got out there. Love your Samsung Odyssey. I get it. You know, VR is awesome. It's so cool. Yeah, the Lenovo. Now that's really cheap. 192, especially in Canada, Devin. Yeah, in racing and flying, they're amazing. And there are a few other games that I really do enjoy playing. I enjoy Wrench. I enjoy Star Trek Bridge Crew. I love Robo Recall. Super Hot. I mean, there's a lot of fun titles, but you play the good ones and you're like, why aren't there more? Rift for $299. Rift S is going to be $299. That's awesome. DJ Racer. I've worked with a lot of people. I do a lot of trade show work with, and I've used the Vive and the Oculus extensively. And it works with glasses. There's enough room, especially in the Oculus, to fit a pair of glasses in it. I mean, not wide brim, but normal size glasses fit in it fine. But I have found that 99 out of 100 people who wear glasses do not need them when they're using an Oculus. So I don't know if I'd worry about glasses so much, except for the ones that don't have room. Like, I think some of the WMV versions, I think, don't have enough clearance or room. Pimax looks janky. Yeah, they're kind of the first gen. I haven't touched one myself, so I don't know. Let's see. Stuart's enjoying the Rift. Absolutely. Tim likes pie. Arthur, I'm not 100% sure how that works, if that's per eye. I believe it is per eye, if I'm not mistaken. $399 for the Rift S. That sounds a little more expensive. All right, let's move along. What else do we have to talk about? I like our diversions, though. A little under the radar because it wasn't part of their big build and wasn't part of their big patch or part of their roadmap or any of that kind of stuff. But there was an R Factor 2 patch of sorts, 1.11111112, now available. Client ID, and anyway, a few minor fixes that were there. So just letting you know about that behind the scenes going on, but not part of their big builds or any of their roadmap stuff. There's also an update to Trading Paints fairly recently, and I think this might be one of the more significant updates to Trading Paints in quite some time. I have to say, or confess, I have Trading Paints loaded, and I just don't even think about it. When it updates, it updates. It doesn't really affect how I use it all that much. I mean, in the way I use it. However, they have made some changes. Decal layers being added to it, editing showroom paints, custom numbers, future plans for custom numbers, web updates, my paints. So a lot of updates, and if you haven't checked it out, you might want to go to their web page instead of just leaving it running like I do and see if there's new things that you can do with the regular account or the paid account. Yeah, DCS and VR, Digital Combat Simulator, is one of the best VR experiences for sure. The way the cockpit works, the way you interact with the cockpit, the way, yeah, it's one of my favorite VR experiences for sure. Viron says he owns a Pimax, 4K, 2K per eye, and it's very clear. Your eyeballs don't sweat. Oh. Tim says 2 eye docs told him VR is not for you. Yeah, what do doctors know? I would find a friend, Tim, that has one, or go to a gaming center that has this VR, and I'd give it a shot. You're not going to hurt yourself. They could be very wrong. This I like. This reminds me, we were talking about me karting, going back to 2002, 2003. And no matter how much I karted in a day, no matter how far I drove to get there, karted all day and drove to come home, no matter how tired I was, I still found myself going to my sim rig. You know, I love sim racing, and the thing that I love about it is that we can do it 24/7, anytime we want. We're not restricted to the real-life hours of real-life racing. There is nothing conventional about sim racing. So Max Verstappen, you know, down there running the Australian F1 race, of course, sure, flies 16 hours home to get into his sim rig and start posting pics of him back in his rig, I don't know. Maybe he came home with things he wanted to work on post-Melbourne. But it just made me think back to, you know, we sim racers, it doesn't matter. Racing, we parallel, and we're just like it. And at the same time, we're different from it. And that means that I'm going to do both. And so is Max Verstappen. Nice steering wheel, by the way. All right, what else? Richmond Raceway. They're part of that Richmond Motorsports eSport. It's more than just a team, it seems. It's a racing team venue, a whole PR campaign, and an esport all combined into one. Anyway, even though this isn't sim racing related, they are hosting their first Rocket League esport event. So the reason I mention it again, Richmond Raceway is the group behind one of the big NASCAR esport teams, Richmond Racing, Richmond Raceway esport team. You know what I'm talking about, I hope. What else? A few more things to talk about. This is a cool story too. And this takes me back in time. Again, takes me back in time. The rivalry that helped Gran Turismo World finalist Nicolas Rubelar. Oh, probably ruined his name. If you think back in time, like to last year's Nations Cup and thing, he doesn't race alone, but his brother also is a very, very amazing sim racer as well. I believe his name is Diego Rubelar. But he talks about his whole getting to be great came from kind of having a rivalry with his brother. And I mention my brother all the time on the show because I live with him, and he's a big supporter of the show and what I'm doing here. But way back at the beginning of my racing days, go back to Grand Prix Legends, go back to NASCAR 2003 days, my brother was my teammate and one of my greatest rivals. I would race my ass off just to make sure I was faster than my brother. Kind of funny how a little brotherly competition works out like that. So anyway, he talks about his brother being a big part of why he is as good as he is. And I think we can all relate to that. Toyota getting in on it too. Toyota is going to launch a Gran Turismo sport-based eSport series in April 2019. You can find out all the details at Team VVV actually has a scoop on this one. And we'll keep our eyes on that as well. So yet another esport competition, this time with another real-life manufacturer giving the backing. So that's the things we're always watching when we you know, to give Austin Oganowski a little credit to his opinions and thoughts. But it's like we all watch esport wondering how it's going to do. Is it going to succeed? Is it going to fail? Is it going to represent us well? All these, you know, things. And what I watch for is who's backing it and what sims they're choosing. So when I see Toyota teaming up with Gran Turismo, that's the way I'm looking at it. That's some big money. And you know, if you think back in time, Nissan was really the partnered team with Gran Turismo. So maybe there's been a big change there where Nissan's kind of pulling out of things, and now Toyota's coming in. Maybe in the next gen of Gran Turismo, it could all be all about, oh, Max loves Toyota. He's a big Toyota fan. We're all 22R fans. Any old schooler knows what I'm talking about there. Edge Esport. Ah, there it is. This is the story. We talked about the map free, and we did an interview with the gang from Avid Chronic with Adam and Risto and a few other guys. Adam and Risto did most of the driving in this multi-event, the ESL map-free racing series that we've talked about. But anyway, congratulations to Edge Esport for winning the first edition of it. With that, you see him with the giant €6,000 check. That is pretty amazing, and it looks like ACR Zach Speed was in second with Williams Esport finishing in third. So congratulations, Mitchie and Avid Chronic, because, man, you guys are holding your own against some of the biggest new teams. You think about Edge Esports, they are one of the professional esport teams. William Esport teams, they are one of the professional. ACR Zach Speed is one of the OG teams, comes from sim racing up to the esport world. So congratulations to both Edge Esport, Avid Chronic Racing, and Williams Esport on that one. If you think back a long time ago, anybody who's an old school NASCAR 2003 guy, you guys know Dale Earnhardt used to be out there racing with us all the time. It was not it was pretty common if you raced often to cross paths with him in various servers. He was that avid a sim racer back in the day. And he did step away from it quite a bit. He was as good as any of the DWC guys, the World Championship level racers back in the day. So at this point, he actually, in an interview, did throw out the bomb or tease the fact that he could make a return to the peak iRacing series. I can only imagine he would get an exemption of some sort and maybe come in as a team owner. Who knows? But wouldn't it be interesting to see Dale Earnhardt back into the sim racing ranks and really going at it again? That'd be kind of cool. WRC8 talking about 4 historic rally cars being revealed, more to come. So as they prepare and are starting to plug away on that, this is also at Team VVV. So good for them for getting a couple of cool scoops out there. VR health concerns. Yeah, I've thought about that, DJ. I've wondered about that, but I don't know. We'll see. The OptiGrab. I'm really old school today. All right, just some cool eye candy. This is at SimRace Hardware News and Reviews blog. BMW DTM Replica. Kind of a cool looking wheel. I don't know if that's the wheel for me, though. It is cool looking. I mean, a replica, so that's what they run in the real deal. I'm not sure if that's exactly the wheel shape that I want. What was that about Dale? Oh, he's back in dirt. That was on his podcast. Yeah, to be Dale Earnhardt for a day. Wouldn't that be great? All right, what else? This also at SimRace Hardware's News and Reviews blog, but this is a direct drive steering wheel stand by SimCorp. In a nutshell, massive. Do like this billet aluminum looking mount. A lot of the mounts that I've seen for direct drive wheels are actually kind of wimpy. I mean, they get the job done, but we talk about how strong and beastie these motors are, and it looks like a mount should look a little more like that. But if you're looking for a solution to maybe bolt it to like a DIY rig, a profile rig, any of that, this could be a good solution to you from SimCorp. Certainly. He hates these cans. Oh, very, very good. All right, what else? What else? Actually, just a couple more things. Rate your rig. That's the kind of thing we see on Reddit. Roast my setup, this guy says. I wouldn't roast it. I'm actually really impressed. That looks like a home-built welded tube frame. That could be a frame from a real car. I can't really tell. This buckle in the middle has me a little concerned about a real car versus fab. It does kind of look like a Formula V or some kind of a chassis like that, perhaps. I don't have any real details on it, but it did remind me of my old rig. Can anyone recognize that wheel? Anyone? What wheel is that? Anyone? Bueller? Isn't that the original Forza edition? Original podium, I almost called it. That is the original Club Sport base, the Forza model, the one that was actually affordable. And to be honest with you, that orange version, in my opinion, was actually better than the black one. It was moved just a little freer, and that was when wheel was just a little bound up. You can tell he's running in VR. He's got the monitor shotgun. I see his VR headset over there. Some sort of a sensor up here. Oh, it's got to be a webcam. He's got a webcam up on the roll bar. Pretty cool setup. I like that. Here's one worth maybe kind of chuckling a little bit, but another VR user. VR's the talk of the day. Look, 2 for 2. Rigs posted on Reddit have he's got an HTC Vive there and a Logitech wheel at his desktop solution. After 2 months modding his G290, it's actually a 920, and fixing settings to his likings, he's finally getting decent laps. I would dump that swivel chair. Swivel chairs are not optimal. What else? Here's one more. Just another one to see at Reddit. This is the Full Motion Visaro 4-actuator. They're a D-box rig. 4-actuator D-box rig. You can pretty much put that platform under any rig. This one happens to be holding a Visaro. And my video didn't play so well. And every once in a while, somebody sends me a leaderboard. Tim Chitwood, I don't give you enough credit because you post them in our channel. And I don't get to that thread in our channel often enough to give you credit. But I like to throw leaderboard challenges because when one of you guys, one of the pit crew like Gene Miller, a.k.a. Mad Dog, he gets out there, Mad Dog Pagan, and sets #1 in the community event. So if you are looking for some fun, you want to get out there, this is in Forza, right? That's Forza. Hold on. I screwed up and forgot what sim. Bear with me. Give me 1 second here. I think that was Forza. Whoops, back one. Bear with me, guys. I know the show's weird today. I like doing the weird shows every once in a while just for the fun of it. Yeah, this is Forza. I had it right. There's a Forza challenge. So, Le Mans Lasarth full event leaderboard. Can you beat his time of a 4:10.821? 5 seconds faster than place #2. So, congratulations, Gene Miller. Well done, a.k.a. Mad Dog Pagan. So, beyond that, that is going to do it for today's news show. Don't really have a lot more to talk about in terms of news. On the schedule today, though, we do have Hotlap Humpday at 3 o'clock with Rick Motec. Don't know car, don't know what track, but we'll have 4 hours of streaming and see what I can do on the leaderboard there. Endurance practice was supposed to be tonight with the patron Simpit Rick Motec endurance team, but we have conflict with Hotlap Humpday. So we'll talk and maybe put that up also, or maybe postpone that till tomorrow. Saturday at 10 a.m. we have the patron race. They don't know the combo yet. I do. I'll be broadcasting that race and just letting the Simpit patron group have some fun out there. Also, we're going to have that R Factor 2 Phanatic 12-hour race over the weekend as well. And the Sim Experience GS5 G-Seat review, which should be coming out in the next few days as well. So, lots going on. Lots of fun to be had. And we'll be back Friday at 9 a.m. for Beyond the Sim with Billy Strange, Brandon Waters, and special guest James West, a.k.a. Gamer Muscle. That's going to be a great show on Friday. You got to be here for that one. You'll be able to ask questions of me, Billy, and James on the show live. Should be a great show. I hope you'll be there for that one. But that's going to do it for this one. This is the Sim Pit. I'm Shaun Cole, and I'll see you on the track.